Yeah, how do you sit like this?
I don't know. It helps hide the belly a little. It helps me. All right. So I grew up in Hawaii, and I started serving in a church in my hometown, in Mililani, and I got really involved kind of right from the start. You know, I started with kids ministry, setup, breakdown. I say I got burnt out. It was more of I started taking steps to where I wanted to kind of rest. You know, it started with a weekend, you know, Dallas Cowboys were playing, so I was gonna take a break. And then, you know, one weekend kind of turned into a couple of weekends, you know, and then sooner or later I was going once a month. I wasn't going as often. I even went years without going. Or if I did go, I went on Easter or Christmas. You know, I was one of those people who felt like, you know, I could just be that lone wolf Christian where I didn't need to be around a community, and that's a very scary place to be, you know.
It was funny because I feel like I gave you like an ultimatum. I still remember you saying, well, I'll go to church, but I'm never gonna serve. And I go, okay, well, I'm not serving either, so I'm just going to go. I didn't feel like we had that camaraderie there. Does that make sense? And then like, you would go to Cinnabon and have a Cinnabon while I was doing, you know, greeting. Like, you were very anti-serve.
Yeah, I was not, in that place in life, I just didn't want to, you know, commit to something again. We kept saying you know, we need to find a church home, we need to find a church home. And we kept putting it off and putting it off.
And off.
And it put it off for like 10 months. We came to church last year during Pastor John's Nudge series. It's funny how God's gonna use you, and it's we're supposed to be telling our story, but it's not our story, it's God's story. You know, so God puts everybody within the church to kind of play a part in his plan.
But I will say this, it wasn't just we got nudged into the church. We were like, yay, we started serving. It was a lot of, honestly, an uphill battle because realistically, the second time that we went to church, it was like 4:45 in the morning and you're like, babe. And I'm like, what? And you're just like, hey, I'm gonna go serve. They said they need help during production setup. And all I did was just, I think I had like one eye open and I said, who are you and what have you done with my husband? What happened to never serving? And I rolled back over. I went back to sleep. I said, better you than me. And you were like, you need to go. So eventually you got me out of bed and I started serving and I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure, but I'm waiting for them to show their true colors. But those true colors never actually, the true colors were that they were authentic and they were real. Yeah. Like, I believe everyone always has some form of church hurt. But it's amazing to have this family, not a family that you were born into, but also a family, or a family that you chose, but a family, a spiritual family that was able to guide you through our groups and the ministry that we do through church. I mean, you never truly want to settle. You know, you feel this longing to always never settle, but you always find yourself as if it's going to be too hard or you're going to be rejected. But the reality of it is, like, if you put your faith in God and you actually take that small step into what God has for you, that settling is just gonna vanish. That feeling of I'm not good enough is going to turn into how can I be better for other people so other people can experience God's love and actually see what God has to offer for every single human because of how much he loves us.
Yeah. So if they settled, we wouldn't be where we're at. There's something that God has for you that someone else needs in the church. Because there's someone else sitting here next to you. They're probably sitting right in your vicinity. And they need you in their life. And are you just going to step up and be that person that they need, that God needs you to be?
And don't for 1 minute think that whatever you have to offer is too small,
because you don't know what a smile can do to a person. You don't know what a, hey, welcome to the gathering, could make for somebody. You were given gifts beyond measure that you may not even know that you have. I'm always going to be grateful, especially for God introducing the gathering, because it's amazing the foundation that God has set in not only our individual lives, but in our marriage. We've been blessed to have the gathering in our lives. And I'm excited to see what God has in store for all of you, especially you.